right, I think we are. All right. Let me bring up the chats. It's saying, okay, Dave's saying he's in the background. It's waiting.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Jenny. I see you in the chat. I love Jenny. I just saw her in Vancouver on Sunday. Shout out to Jennifer Mackey.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, you guys. Oh my gosh. New setup, you guys. So bear with me, you guys who have been to my other guest Tuesdays. I'm kind of going a little high tech. So bear with me, but we want to welcome Logan, AKA we know her as Cinnamon and Jupiter on YouTube. And you're also known that on Subtrack as well?
Substack, yes.
Substack.
Well, Substack, everyone knows me on Substack as Logan Tender, and my publication is Cinnamon and Jupiter, but everyone on YouTube just likes to call me Cinnamon just because, I don't know, I guess it sounds prettier, and that's fine. You don't want to call me a boy name, right? I get it.
And for you guys, for our YouTube viewers, you guys know Vegas Dawn, and this is Vegas Dawn's wife, Logan. So she's part of our Vegas community, and so we welcome her and so appreciate you and Vegas Dawn here in Las Vegas.
Thank you so much. I think shout out to my husband, Vegas Dawn. He's the best husband and father, and he's been so supportive of me, and it's been such a pleasure watching his channel grow from nothing to over 10,000 subscribers. And gosh, what are we coming up on, like 8,000 videos? I mean, I would consider him the hardest working man on YouTube right now. I'm not even exaggerating.
Yes.
I fully believe he's the hardest working man on YouTube.
Yes.
Not to discredit you, Karen and Dave. I mean, you do amazing videos too. Your editing is incomparable, and I love you have such different content, like the Cuban sandwiches video. That's not really something Las Vegas is known for, but I personally, like, I do like the Cubanidad 1885 Cubano. I do, that one is my favorite. But yes, okay. I love Don, and you should go subscribe to him as well.
Yes, yes, and they'll put his channel up there as well as yours, Logan. So let's get into it. I want to share a video and let Logan kind of run with it and tell what she's about and what she and her community. So let me share something with you guys. Let me share. Okay, here we go, you guys. Let me get it. All right, here we go. Excuse me, you guys. Karen has to get it together.
Long been seen as a fringe pseudoscience for centuries. But if it weren't so accurate, why are people still using it today? This sign is the extent of mainstream astrological knowledge, but there's so much more to it than that. Start by creating a birth chart. You can get this for free at sites like Cafe Astrology, astrocharts.com, astrotheme.com. Don't use ChatGPT for this, as I've found it almost always makes mistakes. To calculate this, it is crucial that you know the exact date, time, and location of your birth for you to receive the most accurate interpretation. Here is why astrology is the daily tool you never knew you needed, and how you can incorporate it into your daily life. Self-improvement. Throughout life, we pour ourselves into our passions, whether that be partners, children, or unfulfilling jobs. One day those phases end. It could be in the form of a breakup, death, empty nest, or layoffs. These traumatic events can end up making you feel lost and disconnected with yourself. Natal astrology can...
All right, you guys, let me come back. I don't know if I was too abrupt. So with questions too, let's jump. So before I jump into questions related to your name, there's already questions about how to come up with your name and how did you start your channel from Baby Love. Tell us about you and what you do, and just run with it.
Okay, well, I've been spiritual all my life, but not necessarily very religious. We could start maybe with the name cinnamon and Jupiter. Cinnamon and Jupiter. So 2 words. Cinnamon is a spice used in like magic. The type of magic that ends with a K. Like the
Yes.
Wiccan kind of thing. So cinnamon's generally used for abundance magic. There's like a first of the month spell essentially that you can do where at the first of every month you blow cinnamon powder into your house from your front door, and you're inviting all forms of abundance into your life. Any like a lot of people do it for, let's say you really need a certain amount of money for rent and you're manifesting just enough money to pay for rent, and that a lot of people swear by that. I know one time I diffused cinnamon essential oil on an afternoon where Dawn was going out live streaming and driving, and someone very graciously and generously donated him, I think, $15 on that live stream. I'm like, oh my gosh, this works. So ever since then, that's kind of been like a very important part of what I do. And then the Jupiter element of my name, it ties back to astrology. It's the planet of abundance. And that it represents spiritual expansion. It's just a very expansive planet. Wherever you see Jupiter in your birth chart is where you're most expansive, where you receive the most abundance. So for example, I have Jupiter in my second house, and the second house represents values and finances. So at some point, and I'm not rich now, but at some point it's really good placement for long-term wealth and generational wealth. It's a type of placement that would be a precursor to that.
And this is another question from Baby Love as well.
When did you decide to do what you do today? Well, my channel's very new. I only started it, I want to say maybe in March. So astrology, to back up before I started my channel, I've really only studied astrology for the past year. And a lot of astrologers that you'll see on social media have been doing it since they were maybe like teenagers. I mean, they've been really reading into it for a really long time, and it's just been part of their lives. I had a birth chart reading done in about 2018, 2019. I had no idea how to do my birth chart. I'm like, here's this wheel and all these little planetary signs, and I don't know what this means. I don't know how to read it. So I'm just going to read the analysis that this woman read me. And it didn't really resonate with me. I didn't know what she was talking about. It was saying like, a man is going to disappoint you in your life. And I'm like, I mean, I've been disappointed by a lot of people, but I don't feel that way. Like, I feel very fortunate, and I've chosen my relationships with people very strategically. I decided, like, I want to do this for people, but I want to be more accurate about it. And I feel I'm very intuitive. I'm a very intuitive person, and everybody has innate psychic gifts. And I have definitely developed them over the years. It all kind of awakened within me. I made a video about this, my spiritual awakening, when I had a dream that ended up, the main person in my dream ended up being my youngest child. He was in that dream. I didn't know he was my youngest child at first. He was just some like really beautiful looking little boy angel in my dream. And I thought, wow, who is this? But yeah, it kind of just snowballed into one day in March. I decided I had things to write about, and the floodgates opened suddenly, and I need to write everything down. And I just had so many like spiritual things I wanted to write about, things about astrology, things about past life, manifesting abundance, personal growth. I feel like a lot of people are lost, and they need guidance at the end of the day. And everybody wants to feel so independent and feel like they can do everything on their own. But everybody at the end of the day kind of just wants to be told what to do. And I think astrology is just, It's really eye-opening, because when you learn about how to read your birth chart and you know what the planets mean and what the houses mean and their relationship between like the what it means when what planets and what house and what sign and
Okay.
everything, it makes so much sense when you read into it. And when I had my epiphany about a year ago, I wanted other people to see that too. I don't want people to see astrology as some woo-woo new age thing, which when people say things like that, it just completely discredits the value that I think astrology has. I think it's such a helpful tool in anyone's personal growth journey. And I try to be practical about it too. I try not to be performative about it. There is scientific evidence about
It goes
manifestation.
way back, right?
Yes,
Like
it
how
does.
long? I mean, when you look at, I mean, if you look at history, if you look at even in the movies, and you look at, I mean, it just goes back like from the beginning of time, right?
Exactly. It's very old. It's at least a couple thousand years old. People have been studying it. And I mean, not everybody takes it seriously in the mainstream, but I mean, why does it still exist? Why are people still interested in it, at least on a superficial level? If it's been around for 2000 years and people are still talking about it, obviously there's some sort of credit to it.
You know, Logan, I want to share. So I come from my background. I come from in my culture, you know, I'm African American, Black, you know, Christian background. There's in my culture real deep roots in that. But you know what? A couple of years ago, I ran across a book about the stars, right? How basically God wrote in the stars, you know. So for me, so the stars and all of that is real, and it's not for nothing, and it's not happenstance, and it has meaning. Even if you look at it in a different, like even in a biblical sense, there's meaning in those stars. So, and I just find it very interesting. So, what would you say for somebody like me, a layman, when we were talking earlier before we went live, and you asked me, am I, you know, I'm a Capricorn, you guys. My birthday's January 14th. I don't know. I think I was born in the day. I don't know. I would have to look at my birth certificate. But how does somebody like me who has no clue, if I was curious about, other than coming to your channel, and I know you're going to mention a magazine you're going to do, but how do you start?
I think the best place to start is to there's so many websites you can put your birth details into, put your birth date into, the time of your birth, the location too, that's important.
Okay.
The geography is important too. Start from there, look at your birth chart. You can look at my videos. Of course, I have a lot of upcoming content where I'll be explaining everything and defining everything for people who are beginners. But of course, there are a lot of other, I mean, you can Google things too, it's all out there. I'm not the sole source of
Gotcha.
information. Just
Gotcha.
what I'm trying to do is I'm not just trying to teach everybody, because you can find this information anywhere, but I'm just trying to explain this to people in a more practical way, where, to show them how it can help them in their personal growth.
So you have a magazine. Share with us what's your project, your new project, your latest project. What's going on?
So all of my videos are based off of articles that I've already written, already published on Substack and Medium. The links to those are in my YouTube channel bio. So all the videos are adapted from those articles. All the articles have been written for this magazine. I'm currently in the process of doing the visual layout for it. So everything's written. I'm just laying everything out in design, ready for printing. I will be publishing this digitally at the end of the month, and then I'll also be printing this out for in-person for distribution, local distribution.
So if anybody's interested, so I listed your landing page. They can go here and fill out a form if they're interested in getting information with this?
The landing page The landing page is for a birth chart analysis. I
Okay.
just recently started adding that. It's one of the it's the first offering that I recently offered. I'll be doing tiered offerings at a later point. I just wanted to get something out there. I have been doing some birth chart readings for free. And recently I've been receiving an uptick in requests for birth chart analyses, which I very much appreciate. And it really makes me feel like what I'm doing is helping people. And from the feedback I've been receiving, people seem to really resonate with my analyses. And I do appreciate that. Given the very limited that I have between work and parenting and everything, I did decide to make it a paid offering just because I value my time and I believe it's only fair. But
Yeah.
if you do want to, go ahead, Karen.
No, and you see a comment there from your friend Jennifer right there. She can't wait to read your first issue. And
Thank you, Jenny. I've been seeing all of your comments coming out. It's just the chat is moving so fast, and I have a lot to say in 45 minutes. So, but I'm seeing everything everyone's saying here. So I appreciate everyone here. I do see Sage Kells, Sugared Sage Kells, Caller Kells. That's her name.
okay.
Thank you, Sage. Really quick, I don't want to ignore anyone.
No, go ahead. No, take
see
your
what
time. Go
everyone's
ahead and
saying.
read. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so we answered the story behind her name. I see Tony here. Hello, Tony. Let's see. Okay, so Tony's got me on in the background. That's from a while back. Let's see. Hi, Paula. Hi, Tobin.
Right.
Tobin
Vegas
and Dawn's
Dawn
way
is
back
here.
Dawn, of course. Yes, I've been seeing Dawn come up. I love my husband. I love you, Dawn. Thank you, Mario, for smashing that like. I appreciate you. Is it skipping a lot? I see a couple of things about how's the connection on everybody else's end?
Yeah, let us know. I know sometimes you freeze a little bit. I don't know if I'm freezing. I'm kind of plugged in directly to I'm using whatever that darn thing is.
Ethernet.
Yeah, the Ethernet. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard, you guys. So tell us then about your reading. After you read, tell us about how people, like, I have the landing page, but I see that it's 333, right? Is that a super number?
It's an angel number. I don't get too much into the numerology. And actually I do see Vibrant Numerals is in here. She goes really deep into numerology. I haven't seen a ton of her videos, but she's very intensive in the work that she does with numerology. That's not really something I'm into, but if that's something you want to discover, if you're somebody who sees 444 whenever you look at the clock, I know Baby Love's been seeing that a lot lately. I've seen that a lot for years, almost on a daily basis. It's just high fives from the universe telling you that you're on the right path. But there are meanings behind all of the different numbers, and Vibrant Numerals will tell you. So,
and you see that from Renee right there as well.
Attention. Thank you, Renee. Thank you for following Dawn and myself. We both appreciate your support. Thank you.
Yes, very much. And welcome, Vibrant Numerals. Let me see, Terius Freeman, thank you so much for your super chat. We so appreciate that. And so let's talk a little bit about Vegas because this is what I'm interested in a little bit.
Sure.
Because one of my live streams, I was out and there was a Vegas ghost tour. And then I'm reading, like, at the Venetian, there's something going on, Bally's, which is now Horseshoe. And what was the other one? There was another one. But what is with the Vegas ghost tours? And I mean, I didn't really I need to delve into this, right? I really do need to see what's going on. What have you heard, or what do you know?
Uh, Honestly, Karen, I don't really know that much about the Vegas ghost tours. I'm very sensitive to haunted things. I mean, I went to Zach Bagans' haunted museum back in maybe 2017,
Okay.
or maybe, or whenever it first opened. I don't remember. It's been a while, but I really, not that I get creeped out, but I'm very sensitive to all the different energies that were around, and I just felt very heavy after I came home. And I mean, there are people who really get a kick out of paranormal activity, and
Yeah.
that just it's not for me. But I mean, the metaphysical part of Las Vegas, it's definitely here. I mean, there are all different types of stores here. A couple can name off right off the bat. Psychic Eye. I mean, I haven't been in the store in a long time because, you know, I've been very busy with work, and
Yes.
I'm at home a lot with my children. But the Psychic Eye, I mean, they've been around forever, of going on 30 years, I want to say.
Okay.
My mom, so she was a big crystal Wiccan person. And I mean, backstory, I know some of you aren't really into the whole witchcraft thing, Wiccan thing, pagan thing, and that's fine. I get it. I mean, I know you, no judgment there. I don't judge
Yes.
you, and I appreciate the respect that you give me. But
Yes.
so I'm Italian. I come from a Catholic family. I get it.
You look
I
Italian.
Thank you. I'm a paisan, you know. Shout out to Tony. He's my fellow paisan.
Yes.
Well, he's Sicilian, but that's a separate topic. So my family, you know, they're Catholic, and my mom's raised Catholic, but she decided not to baptize me, and she just, you know, in case I wanted to. She just wanted to let me have the choice to decide what I wanted to be when I was older, and not decide it for me, which I do appreciate her for doing that. But so she was Catholic, but she also, in Italy, is especially Italian American culture, and even just in Italy, there is the Regoneria,
Okay.
and those are like the underground, I
Okay.
guess, witches, you could call, over there. But people don't like to talk about it because anything to do with witchcraft is seen as, um it's blasphemous, and people are like really judged by it. But people keep going to them for malocchio, for the evil eye, to, you know, so they can clear the evil eye
Right.
away from people. If people have been exposed to that, they prescribe them different herbs. That's what streghe do, no,
Okay.
witches over there. And they don't necessarily, not all of the Italian Americans here in America call them streghe, but I mean, it's a thing, you know. It's just, you hear about people in the mafia being superstitious, and but you never really hear it explained why. I was thinking about doing a video based on that. There
That
isn't
would
a
be
lot of evidence
interesting.
there. Yes, and I would love to do a collab with my husband on that, tie it into the whole Vegas thing, and I think that would be
Yes. Absolutely.
very interesting to do. But it's definitely here. It's not talked about, but there are all sorts of metaphysical shops, psychic shops. Oh, there's also Enchanted Reiki. That's another one here,
What
in
about the honey
town.
pot? I heard of the honey pot.
That
Is it
sounds
light?
new.
Okay.
That sounds new. I'm not. I Yeah. A lot of
Okay.
my knowledge comes from places that have been here for a while.
Okay.
I was born and raised here. But I'm not 100% up to date on like the newest places here. I defer to my husband, and I defer to you, Karen, to
And
keep me
well,
updated
Tobin,
on
your
all things
husband
here.
and Tobin, your husband
Tobin,
and Tobin.
yes. Tobin is a key element in
Mm-hmm.
Las Vegas
Absolutely.
history and knowledge about all the new places. So I look
Yes.
to him too. I know I feel silly admitting that because I've lived here my whole life, and I'm not up to date. But come on, I mean, give me a break. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. I work all the time. Like I write when I'm not working, or, you know,
Yes.
feeding them.
Yes. I was watching a movie on Netflix and I can't remember it, but it was like in Ohio, and there was like some paranormal activity. And you know, we have that, what is that museum downtown? You guys know what is it, Vegas, Don? The ghosts, the horror museum. What is that called?
It's not Zach Bagan, is it? The Haunted Museum that I just
Oh,
talked about?
yes, the haunted museum. So they took the steps out of the basement, out of this home in Ohio, and it's now in Vegas at the haunted museum.
Mm.
And they brought the dirt and everything, and from the basement and the stairs. And I'm like, I will not touch the dirt. I'm not touching the steps. I haven't been to the haunted museum, but it's just interesting. I don't know. I can't think of the movie. I don't know if you guys know what movie I'm talking about, but yeah, it was a woman, a single lady, a Black woman, a single woman, and she had this daughter and son, and somehow they got possessed, and it was a whole thing. But they tore the house down. The house is torn down in Ohio. I guess there was a social worker involved, and doctors who kind of corroborate, some different behavior, right? But anyway, they brought the stuff here and they put it in the haunted house mansion in Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a lot here.
Yeah.
It's a lot here. So, any other questions? You guys have a question you want to ask her? We can take a moment. And what happened to my... All right, my computer did a little thing. Any question that you guys want to ask?
I do. Philly Whiz Kids asked if we're
Here.
talking about astrology. They said astronomy, but
Mhm.
that's different than astrology, or which one? I talk about all the esoteric things. I mean, that's the whole magazine blends all of magical elements together. Astrology is just one part of that. I also like to talk about spiritual things and witchcraft. I think that's very interesting to it's just a very interesting world
good and
to
evil
get
is
into.
real. It's real, right? It's real. Good and evil, I think it's a real thing, right? And I mean, but witchcraft doesn't have to be evil either, right? It doesn't I mean, it doesn't have to be evil. When you say witchcraft, some people think of evil, but it doesn't have to be evil as well. Right?
It does not have to be evil. I mean, to be realistic about it, there are people who hex people. I know it sounds insane, and like Logan, I can't take you seriously, and that's fine if you feel that way. But I mean, there are people who use it for not good,
yes,
for just for ulterior motives.
yes.
And there is a saying where, if you want to use magic is like a knife. You can either make food with it, feed your family with it, or you can kill somebody with it. And
yes,
I mean, and I would hope that you do the former, that you
absolutely.
don't
For good,
don't,
for good.
yeah, you
For
don't
good.
get into dark arts, as Theo Vaughn would say. Those dark arts.
And we see Sugared Sage. She had no question, but I love your name, Sugared Sage. I just love it. I love the cinnamon and juniper, and I love this Sugared Sage name. I just love it. But you see her comment there to you.
Yes, I do. I love Sugared Sage, by the way. That's Kel's. That's her name.
Okay.
Kel, I'm grateful that you are here. I love your posts and I love your energy. Thank you for being at this interview, Kel.
Mm-hmm. And then you see this one from Jennifer.
Some of the signs that brought you here, that inspire you, have brought you here. How have you used your knowledge to guide your path as a mother in business? As in business, so let's talk about the business aspect first. I do have a video on predicting the stock market, and you can use astrology not just for personal growth, but you can also use that for like horoscope astrology. You can use it to make predictions and find good dates for events that you're planning, dates that would allow for the best possible outcome. based on planetary energy. So you can also, not just for astrology, but I mean, manifestation. You can manifest anything you want. You can, if you, a lot of people, if you, the way I see it is I operate on, like my body runs on like a certain file, and my reality is a delayed version of the file. It's like when you're creating something on the computer and it takes time to print, it takes time for reality to catch up to what's going on in your brain. So, for example, when somebody is actively manifesting something, people see that person as delusional if they haven't, if that's not something, if they're not in that headspace, if they haven't become privy to that sort of space. But I mean, it's backed by neuroscience. I mean, manifestation is not just, I'm going to get what I want by being delusional. I mean, if you wake up every morning and you make statements that are in alignment with what you want to achieve, but you make those statements in present tense and not, I want $5,000 by the end of the month. It's not I want, is I'm going to have $5,000 this month. Here's how I'm going to do it realistically. And it helps when you manifest in the present tense. The universe only works in present tense, not past tense, not future tense. The universe only cares about now. It doesn't care about what you want. So when you act as if it is happening, the universe has no choice but to catch up with that, to give you what you're desiring.
Okay.
And in motherhood, I use, let's say, astrology with motherhood. I've looked at both of my children's birth charts. It helps me explain their reasoning behind things they do. And sure, they're very young still. So, but I mean, I do have a 3-year-old, and sometimes I think about, for example, he's very mathematical. He's very analytical because he's a Virgo rising and a Virgo moon. So he loves numbers. He eats all kinds of healthy foods. I mean, that's very Virgo. That's Virgo energy. And it's just, so it's not about stereotypes, but it's about archetypes. I'd say each sign has its own archetype, and you can apply those archetypes to certain behaviors, and it just makes sense of everything. And I think it's easier to go about life when you are able to make sense of things rather than just take things as they come and blindly accept things. It's easier for a lot of people to use archetypes as a way to instill some sort of logic into why things happen. Because another thing too, things don't always happen with a purpose. Sometimes things just happen, and as humans, we want to define everything naturally. So I personally don't love labels, but I think astrology really helps you compartmentalize the reasons behind why certain people act certain ways, and what would be the best way to parent someone, or what would be the best way to work with a colleague. Hope that answered your question, Jenny.
Do you see that one about auras? That's interesting. Do you see that question?
Oh, auras. Auras. Do I know anything about auras? I do. I don't personally see them. I'm not that advanced psychically, but I have had my aura photographed in Sedona. I've been to Sedona 3 times. Now, the first time I've had my aura photographed was in 2012, and back then they didn't have a lot of there wasn't a lot of availability of aura photography, and they didn't have the technology everywhere. But now I know you can get your aura photographed here even. I haven't done it here, but I've Googled it, and there are a few places where you can get that done. Every time I get my aura photographed, it's always red. and that's not always a bad thing. I do
Yes.
know that maybe that would be a good video idea for me to do,
Ah,
the meaning behind
oh,
different auras. That would be
actually,
you
yes.
inspired me. Thank you, Fireheart. You
Yes.
inspired. I'm gonna write a little note about that because I think that's very interesting, and each color has different meanings. And for example,
Oh,
so going back to like the red aura, red
yes.
auras are usually a lot of entrepreneurs have red auras.
Okay.
Now there's also like with auras, you can see like cloudy, muddy colored auras, and that usually has to do with like a chakra imbalance. I don't get too much into the chakras. I am very interested about it, but it would I definitely do want to do a video about it, but since my channel is pretty new, I want to
Yeah.
focus more on like the foundational practical aspect of it, and then once I have more of a following, then maybe I'll go into something more like that. But thank you, Fireheart. I love that idea.
Yes, yes, very interesting. And not to digress, I'm a Big Brother fan, and one of the girls on Big Brother, she reads auras, and so that just reminded me of that. And she has a really lovely personality and flowers and daisies, but yeah, she reads auras, so that reminded me of that. Do you see this question I put up from Tobin?
Yes. Did astrology come from astronomy? They share some similarities, but they're not the same. I've also taken astronomy in college. There's a lot of math involved with both, but really the only math nowadays with astrology is just calculating the birth chart, which no one actually manually does anymore. I mean, there are different engines where you can just put in your birth chart information and it creates the chart. But with astronomy, I mean, yeah, so all the signs are based off of actual constellations. Like
Mm-hmm.
the Gemini constellation
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
looks like two people holding hands. Looks like the twins. But um they to answer your question, Tobin, they share a lot of names, but it's not like astronomy doesn't talk about like planetary energies. Astronomers don't really like astrologers. They don't take the study of astrology very seriously.
Yes, yes. All right, I'm going to post this. Thank you so much, Vegas Don. We appreciate you. And we just appreciate everybody for coming in and saying, making comments. Did I not ask? Was there something, Cinnamon, that I wanted to ask you, or that did we go over? Did I missing something that I wanted to get? Oh my gosh, I'm stuttering over my own words. Forgive me, you guys. I just wanted to make sure I covered all the different bases and asking you guys. And if you guys in the chat have questions, let me see. Fireheart has another question here related to that. Here you go.
Never. Two ladies came up to me and said my aura was so bright and beautiful, and they had to tell me. I didn't know what she was saying, but thanked her. You should get it photographed. It's an interesting experience. The way it works, whenever I've done it, they have you sit basically like in front of, it looks like a webcam, and they have you put your hand on this little like black contraption, and each finger goes on like a little metal circle, and usually they have you meditate for a moment before you do it to kind of just stabilize your energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes a photo after about a moment. You see like the color. It's live for a minute, and then they take the photo when it looks like the aura is stabilized.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dave, he posted this. He wants to know more about your magazine. I know we touched upon it a bit, but it's coming out in August. And again, how can people connect with the magazine again?
So the magazine will be available digitally. I'll make an announcement about it on YouTube and Substack, and all the platforms. I'm also on TikTok and Instagram. But I will have that available for digital purchase. And then for the physical copies for physical distribution, I'm currently in the process of reaching out to prospective clients. I have 2 at the moment. I'm not going to share all the details
Okay.
because, but one of them is a salon, and the second one is an indie bookstore here.
Okay.
But the other clients I have are just purely for manifestational purposes.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's currently, and the magazine is still being formatted, so it's not live at all yet. I'm still designing everything, but that will be available at the end of the month, and I will post a launch date about that as well once I'm near completion.
Is it going to be a monthly magazine or?
Monthly magazine would be a lot of work for me right
Yes.
now. It's the beginning.
Okay.
It'll probably be closer to maybe quarterly.
So you know what I've been doing, Logan? And when you said it's a lot, I've been doing newsletters for members, right? I do a monthly newsletter, just what's going on, and it's not exhaustive, but that's work. That's work. So when I said that, I was like, girl, when the end of the month comes up, I'm like, oh, it's newsletter time, and it's like, that's work. So a magazine, I'm sure, is going to be, and you're going to need, is that, I mean, that's a lot of hands. You're going to need more hands.
Oh no, definitely.
Mhm.
I don't really have a choice but to do it all on my own right now. But of course,
Yes.
further down the line, I will need a little assistance. But
And-
I do have a background in graphic design. I've
okay.
written all the articles myself. I've been a photographer since 2011. So, I also, with my graphic design, I do plan on doing at least one art piece in the magazine to accompany one of the articles. Yes, but it's very much a creative amalgamation of
Yes.
all of my skills. I needed a place to put all of my skills into one, because as somebody who has, I don't, I hate to sound, I don't want to like toot my horn too much or anything, but I do have many talents: visual design. I do write songs.
Okay.
I feel like a magazine would be perfect for that, because a magazine these days isn't just a physical magazine. You look at magazines like Vogue, and they have the whole social media aspect. They do
Right.
those interviews, like 50 something questions or whatever, for different celebrities. I mean, it's not just about reading anymore. It's the social aspect. There's music involved, there's Hollywood involved, there's the visual aspect. There's so many that come into the magazine. Is just all encompassing, and it's a place
Yes.
for me to share my all of my talents with you.
Oh, that sounds so exciting.
Thank you so much.
For me, I kind of got creative later in life. I've been more like the math girl, the math, the facts, and everything. And I just never thought I was creative. It's like, I don't know how to draw, but I'm into photography as well because I can't draw. And then I did do some graphic design. But when I saw that you made when you did your 2 interviews, how you made your flyer, I go, I wonder if she has some graphic design skills. I go, that's skillful right there. So
thank you. I
noticed,
went
I
to.
saw that. Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you picked up on that. I did go to UNLV for graphic design. I have a BA in art with a graphic design concentration. It's that degree, ever since the emergence of AI, and AI has been, I've had to pivot a few times, but I utilize my skills. I don't use AI in anything. I don't use AI in my articles or any of my thumbnails or any of my designs. Everything is 100% organic from moi.
Yes, yeah, it was really beautiful. I think she has some skills there. And now that I know that you write music, too. So I'm looking forward to seeing your journey and your channel grow. And you guys, again, please subscribe to Logan's channel, Cinnamon and Jupiter, and also on Substack. I'm not familiar with Substack. I did visit it the other day when I saw you and Jenny, and I just love that. I used to live in Seattle, so it reminded me so much, excuse me, of Seattle. But definitely subscribe and check her channel out. Give her likes. And I am just looking forward to your magazine and seeing, watching you grow and learning more. Actually, I would like to learn more because, like I said, I do believe, there's a lot in this world, right? There's a lot that has meaning. And our brains are so what? So small, right? I mean, they're what we utilize, right? We really don't utilize. And so when I think, now I told you I come from a biblical background, but when I think about the people who lived for 1,000 years, if you think about the Old Testament, and if you uh, believe in that or not, but could you imagine living 1,000 years and just the knowledge and the growth that you would learn? It's just amazing to me.
And to touch on that too, it's not just about like the knowledge you have in your brain, it's about the knowledge that you have from past lives the knowledge that lives in your soul, because
Mm,
you're carrying so much knowledge from within your soul. When you pass away, so from past lives, we forget about our past lives as we grow up because we become so invested in our physical reality. And it's like Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage and we are merely players. Everything we're doing right now it's a play. I mean, we're putting on our little masks and we're having fun. We come to Earth to have certain experiences, to go through a different
mhm.
to have our whatever life paths that we decided to put ourselves through.
Yes,
But
yes,
I mean, once you pass away, it's like you remember everything again, and everything is unconditional love. When you're surrounded by unconditional love, the
mhm,
universe, everything that happens before and after life, that's reality. So what I um what I live by is that all the little inconveniences that you experience throughout your day-to-day life, all the stresses that you go
yeah,
through, I mean, it doesn't, those stresses don't matter. What matters is the love that you share with the most important people in your life. Whether it be like your tribe that you found, um, the person who you decided to spend the rest of your life with. So, I mean, for me, it would be, of course, my family, Dawn, my children. The meaning of life to me is love, to like love and be loved by my children, and to have this tight knit community of a place where I feel that I belong, and I feel like that's really what it's all about. That's what the universe is all about.
yes,
That's what you feel after you leave this earth. That's really all that matters. All of this violence that's around. I mean, there's a reason souls come here to experience suffering sometimes. Not everyone wants to, but I
right.
mean, it's here. But at the end of the day, it's just all you need is love. That's what it's all about. Hi,
You
PK.
know,
I see you. Thank you for joining.
we love PK. Now he is love, right? He is
He
always
sure
so
is.
upbeat, and
He's
him and
so
Mrs. K.
supportive.
Yes, we appreciate you and the love that you and Mrs. K give us all. You guys are great. All right, all right. So if you guys have any questions, I do not want to keep Miss Logan and let her get on her day. But if you guys have any questions before she goes, please, now is the time. And I'm gonna let you read, Logan, so you can say whatever you need to say. I'm gonna give you a minute so you can see what's going on.
Okay. I've
Mm-hmm.
been kind of glancing over to the chat on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tell me a secret about Dawn. Yes, Dave is very anxious to hear some secrets about Dawn. Oh, I don't know what to say.
Well, you know
I
what I like about Don? I think he's flashy with his, when I see him on Fremont in his shoes, the blues or whatever. Who do you dress him, or does he pick his style, or do you?
I mean, he dresses himself, but I mean, I like to think that I influence it because, in Italian culture, there's the women like to make sure that it's not just themselves who look good, but their men need to look good too, or else
Yes.
that's a bad reflection on
When
them.
I see him and I look at those shoes and I'm like, and then what is it, baby blue or something? And then his jersey, and I'm like, you are sporting, Don. You are like, so.
That all started with the Nikes that he wears. There was one
Okay.
pair, and he was looking at these Nikes on like eBay, getting them for like super cheap. And I was like glancing over at like what he was looking at. I'm like, those are pretty. Carolina blue. I love that color. And he's like, yeah, you like that? And so then he's buying them in all the different colors. There's like a fiery color that I love that he's not necessarily, he wasn't originally all about the colorful shoes. But I
Okay.
mean, I'm like, well, all the basketball stars are doing it and they look cool. And I don't know, I love how
I love
He's
it.
like Jackie O with all like the different shoe colors that
Yeah,
he has. He
I
has them
love it,
all
Vegas
placed.
Don.
He has them all in a line, placed like in like rainbow order in our laundry room. And he has like
Yes.
he gets these like the jerseys, the Vegas Dawn jerseys that you see him wearing, the custom
Mhm.
ones to match each shoe that he wears. So he's going through quite the style evolution.
Well,
My husband, I'm very proud of him.
I have noticed it, Vegas Don. I've noticed it and I like it, and very flashy, very you. I love it. And I think Paula you mentioned your children's ages, but I think she missed it. So she wants to ask you that.
My children are 3 and 1.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then here's one more. Let's see. Oh.
Jenny and I have so many coincidences and similarities. We have the same birthday, just different years.
Oh, wow.
Our
Nice.
favorite number, we see everything in threes. So when we ended our interview on Sunday, it was 2:33 p.m. and her favorite number is 33. We just have so much in common. She sees dragonflies and I see dragonflies, and we think of each other's mothers. We talked about that story at the end of our interview. It's just so
Yes,
much in
I heard
common.
that.
And Jenny's such a kindred spirit, and she's my soul sister. I loved meeting Jenny in Vancouver on Sunday. I just flew to visit her because I love her work and what she does. And I announced today's interview, and she's like, I'm going to interview you too. And I was like so flattered.
Very nice. And that you went there. Very nice. I have one question, and I don't know. Lately, I've been seeing my voice, excuse me, I should have water. I've been seeing like three sets of numbers, like the same 3 4s, 3 3s, those two. They just like signs, like I'm driving somewhere, phone number come 444, or just, it's just a pattern of threes, fours, and threes.
Hmm.
Lately, like in the past couple of months, I don't know what that is. I'm trying, my brain is like, what is going on with these darn numbers?
I know fours, I think vibrant numerals should chime in if you're still in here, but I know fours have something to do with like fours are ancestral. I think that's like a familial link, like your spirit guides and your ancestors are trying to communicate something with you.
I need to listen. All right. Anyone to close it? Do you have anything you would like to add, Logan? And I just want to say, Vegas Unlocked, we appreciate you so much for coming on and talking with us. Our goal, my channel is we're Vegas Unlocked, but we want to like just kind of reach out more in our community instead of just going around and filming. We would like to speak more to our community. And so we so appreciate you and introducing us to your community, to Miss Jennifer and Sugared Sage and just other people, Vibrant Numerals. So for merging these communities together, I so appreciate you and thank you so much for your time.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, baby. Cross promotion.
Yeah.
But I'm so thank you. I'm very grateful that you invited me to be on this interview today, Karen and Dave, both of you. I love what you're doing. Content is it's very different and exciting, and I think you're really putting Las Vegas in a great light. I do, once again, if you joined us after the conversation about me offering birth chart readings, I do birth chart readings now. They're very comprehensive. They're, I don't even do, I don't do it in pages. I will email you personally. You just fill out the form on cinnamonandjupiter.com. It is $333. It takes 2 to 3 days for me to complete. I spend a lot of time and energy doing your birth chart analysis, but I mean, I focus on you for, I mean, I do work, and of course, and I parent my children, but for those 2 or 3 days when I focus a lot on your energy, and you're trying to give you the best experience and the best reading in order to be able to help you with your personal growth needs. So I'll do your birth chart reading. Subscribe to me on Cinnamon and Jupiter on YouTube, on Substack, Instagram. I'm Cinnamon Jupiter Mag. But then TikTok is also Cinnamon and Jupiter. So thank you again for having me. And I'm so grateful to everybody who's joined. I'm really happy with this turnout here.
Yes.
And I appreciate you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And have a wonderful week, and we'll chat.
Thanks, Karen. Have a great day.
All right, you
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Good night. Bye-bye.